way through the week. Thank you so much for hanging with us here on First Take on this Wednesday morning. Good morning to you. And I'm so fired up because I got you two both in the house. Max Kellerman,
And is back
Stephen
together
A. I'm
again.
Molly Karam. Thank you guys for being with us. Yes. And you guys want to get right into it here?
Let's go.
Let's do it. All right. So when asked Monday about potentially keeping the starting job when Tony Romo returns from his back injury, the Cowboys rookie quarterback Dak Prescott made it clear this is Romo's team. The Cowboys owner and GM, Jerry Jones, he agrees. Here's what he said on his radio appearance on Tuesday.
It's Tony's team. Tony has the experience, and he has just the ability to make us a better team, and so that's the only way you look at it right now. It's a great place to be to have someone of Tony Romo's stature that could be playing for several years, and then have Dak Prescott as well for our future. It's really impressive. I mean, not impressive, but it's just feels good.
He's got options. It's all good. It's a positive. Stephen A., do you have a problem with Jerry Jones saying it's Romo's team when he returns?
Not at all. I don't have a problem with Jerry Jones at all because it feeds into the buffoonery that is religiously associated with the Dallas Cowboys. This is a beautiful thing for me. I actually love it because the fact of the matter is that at 36 years of age, having not played a full 16 games since 2012, having won a grand total of 2 playoff games in his entire career, this is what Tony Romo has, the undying support, the unwavering support and love of Jerry Jones. I think it works. I really, really do. Because to me, that just elevates the fact that Dak Prescott is playing with house money. He really has very little to nothing to be concerned about. It's Jerry Jones being the hype machine that he is, keeping the intrigue alive. It falls right in line with everything that we know the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones to be. Let me keep interest. Let me keep suspense. Let me keep let me keep winning headlines. Let me keep that interest at an all-time high, thinking that it's going to galvanize Dallas Cowboy fans everywhere, keep them very intrigued and entertained. Everybody's talking about the Cowboys. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? What are they going to do? It's good for ratings. It's good for an audience. It's good to get people to walk through the turnstiles. It's good for everything but winning football games. Works for me, Max Kellerman. Works for me.
I was wondering how you were going to argue this. See, when we get in the morning,
right,
the question is, what do you think about the Cowboys?
That's right.
This is a debate show.
That's right.
So, Max, what do you think about what Jerry Jones said? You have a problem with it? Yup. Stephen A., stop right there.
That's right.
So I'm sitting here waiting for you to tell me why you don't have a problem with it, and it's because you hate the Cowboys.
Oh, it's not the only reason. I mean, that's just one of the reasons. I mean, that always plays a role in my commentary about the Cowboys. It's really their fan base that I hate because they're the worst in American history. They're the most delusional fan base America has ever seen, and it's an embarrassment and a disgrace that they've gotten hoodwinked the way that they do, caught up with the star, the helmet, the cheerleaders, and all of that stuff. I mean, listen, I understand all of that, but
Next,
the
you're
bottom
going to say
line
some of my best friends are Cowboys fans.
No, you know what? Not all, but I mean, I will confess to you that a lot of them are, and this is actually my favorite time of year because when they mess up, I get to rub it in everybody's face, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Look,
well, go ahead.
Look, I do have a problem with what Jerry Jones said here. If you hate the Cowboys, and I do, I suppose you shouldn't, but I do, just as a football fan, have a problem with this, Stephen A. What other owner comes out and emasculates the coach this way? We say, well, he's also the GM. He's the owner and the GM. Okay, but what other GM does it? Like, I can't think of Mara or Rooney or Kraft or one of those family-owned Northeast old-school football programs, franchises, when they're asked a question about the quarterback, taking it upon themselves to essentially tell the coach and everyone else what the plan is for who's going to start under center. That is not the owner's job. That's not the GM's job. The coach is supposed to make that decision. That points to dysfunction. It shows you why the Cowboys haven't won a Super Bowl in so long. Let's not forget that when Jerry Jones was winning Super Bowls, it was largely as a result of manipulating the system. He's the one who crams, or leads the charge for the salary cap and then figures out a way around the salary cap with bonus structures when he brings in Deion Sanders, right? Like, he had a good nucleus and kept it going and won some championships. Nothing since then, because it's a dysfunctional franchise. One, he's an entrepreneur. There are lots of things to like about him, but if you're a football fan, particularly a Cowboys fan, this stuff's got to drive you crazy. If it were anyone else doing the job that Jerry Jones has been doing as GM, Jerry Jones, the owner, would have fired him a long time ago, but he's not going to fire himself. And it is inappropriate for, well, it's his team. He can do whatever he wants. Sure, he can, and they can lose as they've been doing in recent years. It's inappropriate for the owner and or the GM to come out and state who is going to play. The coach is supposed to make that decision.
Yeah, but even whether it's the Dallas Cowboy fan base or whether it's critics like you need to get over it, because this has been Jerry Jones forever. It's going to be Jerry Jones. It is Jerry's world. We all know that, at least behind closed doors, that's what owners do. So him coming out front and center and doing it publicly for everybody to see is no big deal. Let's also take into account this fact, and far be it for me to be sacrilegious, because contrary to popular belief, I am a very nice guy. All right, I just want that to be. I just want that to be stated.
You are.
By the way, in case anyone's wondering, he happens to be a very nice guy.
I happen to be
I
happen to be a very nice guy. But here's the thing. Dak Prescott, everybody's been bloviating about him a little bit too much here. Yes, he's completed 62% of his passes. He has not thrown an interception. He also has not thrown a touchdown. It's not like Dak Prescott is just taking the world by storm. It's not like he's Dan Marino, who comes into a game his second year in the league or whenever it was and just literally takes over for Don Strock and everybody else doing the kind of things that he's doing. I mean, this is not the Dak Prescott we've seen. We saw him convert 4 of his 6 third-down conversions on Sunday against the Redskins, 8 yards or longer. We saw that. We saw a 4th and 11. We saw a 4th and 10. We saw stuff like that. And we saw him convert by making a couple of good throws. Dak Prescott has been very impressive. Impressive for a rookie. Impressive for a rookie 4th rounder. But has he knocked our socks off to the point where we need to start planning for a parade in Big D? I would say pump the brakes, hold the horses.
You can say that.
I am saying
That's appropriate for you to say. You're paid to give your opinion. I can say that. I agree. If I'm running the Cowboys and Romo comes back, I argued this the other day, Romo's team. The coach can say that if he chooses, but for the owner/GM to come out publicly on the airwaves and say that it's that guy's team, maybe, by the way, maybe Dak doesn't do so well in the next several games. Maybe he sets the world on fire. It is inappropriate. It points to the dysfunction of the team, and it cuts the legs out.
Well, mentioning the words dysfunction in the Dallas Cowboys is like mentioning the sky is blue, okay? We all understand that historically dysfunctionality is like...
If I said the sky was blue, you'd say it's not.
It's like a synonym for the Dallas Cowboys. Let's just call it what it is. But the flip side to it, how do you sound? Where is this capitalistic friend of mine that's my partner on First Take? What has happened to you? You have sold your soul. Because let me tell you something right now. Jerry Jones, the billion-dollar playpen. Jerry Jones, the billion-dollar owner. Jerry Jones, who has helped the Cowboys elevate their stature to being worth more than $4.2 billion, which is more than any sports franchise in America. That same Jerry Jones is the guy that had the temerity, the unmitigated gall, the lack of wisdom, or what somebody want to say, the cojones, to sit up there and give Tony Romo a $100 million contract, even though he only had 1 playoff victory on his resume at the time. You trying to tell me the dude that cuts the check, not just for the player, but for everything and everybody, okay? You were just at a fight this week at Jerry World.
Sure was.
In the stadium.
50,000 plus.
In the stadium that he built. Excuse me. So if he did all of this, you trying to tell me that he does not have the right to say, this dude that I paid this money to is my quarterback? He doesn't have the right to say that?
Everyone has the right. This is America. You can say whatever you want. Okay, I mean, you have the right to do it, but should he do it? No. Does it help the Cowboys or hurts them? You're arguing it helps their business. I'm arguing that may be so. But if that's the case, it's at the expense of the on-field products.
Yeah, but you show that at least when it comes to Cowboys, your knowledge is questionable, because everyone knows that Jason Garrett is a puppet as opposed to a head coach. We all know this. Jerry Jones has been pulling his strings forever. Call it what it is. When has Jason Garrett made decisions as the head coach for the Dallas Cowboys? That has always been Jerry Jones. So what's the big deal?
Since he ran Jimmy Johnson out of town, since he ran him off, the Cowboys have suffered. They won once under Switzer.
That's right.
Won once.
They did
that
win
was
one
still
under
Jimmy
Switzer.
Johnson's
and
team, basically.
Yes, they did. Well, Jerry Jones would tell you it was his team.
Yeah, well,
because he was the one. Hold it. Jimmy Johnson was the coach. Right. But at the same time, Jerry Jones was the one making a lot of the decisions.
And what's happened
he thought
since,
he should have gotten credit
other than that first year after the fact, which is still Jimmy Johnson, you could argue easily the effects of Jimmy Johnson. What has he won since then?
Well, let's analyze something here. I am not about to sit here and defend the ineptitude of the Dallas Cowboys. I make a living talking about how flagrantly inept they have been. But let's be clear, in fairness to Jerry Jones, the future Hall of Famer, by the way, because he should be in the Hall of Fame. Let's be clear. They get Barry Switzer. They go to the NFC Championship game. Why do they lose? Because the 49ers have a brother named Prime Time that is so elite, so big time, he don't even work in the daytime. It's almost sacrilegious to have Deion Sanders working in the daytime because Prime Time is truly Prime Time. So what does he do? He gets San Francisco, gets the Super Bowl, and then switches to the Dallas Cowboys. Who got that?
I gave him credit for that.
All right, that's all I'm saying. Jerry Jones did that. Jerry Jones did that.
Because he manipulated
just hasn't done anything since. That's
he installed the system
plus.
and then manipulated it year one. Since then, he hasn't been able to pull that trick. It's been more about football decisions, and he's been really terrible when you look at the track record as owner GM in terms of the on-field product, considering how much they care about winning and the resources they have. There are owners throughout the history of sports who've made bad decisions because they have empowered themselves too much in terms of talking to the media about things, in terms of dictating to the organization. George Steinbrenner for the Yankees, there was a 10-year-plus period where he was a bad owner for the Yankees. He wound up getting kicked out of baseball. During that time, his executives were empowered. The Yankees wound up to having a dynasty because he stayed out of it. Jerry Jones, until he learns to stay out of it, to take a back seat, to give someone else the GM job, to not dictate to the coach, the Cowboys will never win a Super Bowl.
Never going to do that.
First of all, it doesn't matter with this particular bunch of misfits. It doesn't work. It doesn't mean a thing. Whether Jerry Jones says it or not, the fact of the matter is, collectively, as a unit, whether he has faith in Tony Romo or not, whether he speaks about it or not, whether he forces Jason Garrett to start him or not, it doesn't make a difference. It's because the parts don't necessarily fit. We all know this. So why are you sitting here acting like it's a big deal?
It's a symptom. The fact that he's a GM is a symptom of his ego. The fact that he's making these calls in the media is a symptom of his ego. It's symptomatic of the problem, and he's the problem.
There you go.
And your ego will get you every time.
You want some tissue?
I'm a Giants fan, brother. I don't need these.
It sounds like you need some tissue to me. I have no problem with it whatsoever. None.
All right, let's get to America's other team here. And speaking of quarterback injuries, the New England Patriots, Jimmy Garoppolo sprained his AC joint in his throwing shoulder and was forced to leave Sunday's game against Miami, and rookie Jacoby Brissett took over. Now on a short week, as New England hosts the Texans Thursday in Foxborough, it's being reported by the Boston Herald that the Patriots are pressuring Garoppolo to be ready as quickly as possible. Garoppolo was listed as a limited participant in practice yesterday and could be active for Thursday night. Max, should Jimmy G feel pressure to play against the Texans?
If he wants to stay in New England, yeah. If the team is, if the reports are true and the team is pressuring him and he wants to stay on the Patriots, then there's pressure to play. But if he's smart, then he won't feel any pressure to play. Here's the thing: well, how are you going to make the playoffs? Win the Super Bowl? Winning a Super Bowl has ancillary financial benefits later in your career, broadcasting, endorsements, all that stuff. But just making to the playoffs, winning some games, anything short of a Super Bowl, all the NFL is a TV show. Kids, I hope you understand this. It's just a TV show. It's competitive, but it's a TV product. That's where the money's coming from.
Why are you always saying kids like we got 5-year-olds watching?
Well,
I mean, listen, they get it.
To a man of my intellect, the entire world seems like 5 years.
That is true. That is true. I bought a thesaurus yesterday just for you. But go ahead, just for dealing with you. Go ahead.
Now, so if the season is a TV show and the postseason is just a bigger TV show for which you get paid less, for example. Here are the bonuses last season. Wild card, you get 25 grand. Divisional round, 25 grand. Conference championship, 46 grand. You lose the Super Bowl, you get 51 grand. Even if you win it, 102,000. So guys making 20 million or something like that, or has the chance to, these are peanuts so hey, you should care so much about winning a championship. They're hoodwinking these players that, forget about your source of income. Be on an even bigger TV show. Now, let me tell you what happens if he doesn't worry about that so much, meaning he doesn't care so much if he plays in New England where there's a good chance to play in the Super Bowl or somewhere else where he just gets paid. Brock Osweiler started 7 games last year, signed a 4-year, $72 million contract. Matt Flynn had 1 start, 480 yards and 6 touchdowns against the Lions. The next year signed a 3-year, $26 million deal with the Seahawks, 2012.
Oh, I remember that.
1 start. Jimmy Garoppolo, given his age, given what he's shown on the field so far in 2 starts, well, Brady's going to be back in a couple games. He better rush on the field or he won't get another start. Even if he doesn't, has a chance, if he doesn't play any more this year or next year, which I'm claiming will be Brady's last effective season, has a chance to cash in on these 2 games. If his health is compromised to where he thinks it could be an ongoing problem, a chronic, lingering problem, it can affect his value on the marketplace, there is no way he should risk it at that point. It is irrational for him to do so just to stay in New England.
Your argument is weak because what you did was take both sides of the argument so neither could be attacked when, in fact, both of them could be attacked in this particular situation. Very beautiful strategy on your part. Not
Touche.
working.
Let's see.
Not working.
Let's see what you got.
Here's the deal. First of all, it all comes back to the point about Brady as it pertains to you, who swears up and down he's going to be done in 16 months to 18 months or so, that Tom Brady is going to be done. It won't work. Tom Brady's going to be around for at least the next 3 years at this level. I've said it before. I'm saying it again. Plus 40. Tom Brady is going to be Tom Brady unless Bill Belichick, and I'm certainly not wishing any harm to him. God bless him. You know, you climb up there in age, you just never know. I mean, I hope he's around. But as long as Bill Belichick...
Think that about Brady, not Belichick.
As long as Bill Belichick is around, well, you don't know. I mean, Bill Belichick with those sweat outfits and all of that other stuff. I don't know how often he's on the treadmill or the elliptical machine or whatever the case may be. I hope he's healthy. I think he's a brilliant coach. He's great. I love him, which is saying a lot since I'm from New York and he's damn Massachusetts. But the bottom line is greatness, and that's the respect that I have for the great Bill Belichick, regardless of what callers on my radio show like Carlton from Massachusetts and others who hate Bill Belichick talk about him all the time.
Carlton?
He's crazy. He's brilliant. Carlton's brilliant, but crazy. But here's the deal. The point that I'm trying to make to you is I'm telling you that Brady, as long as Bill Belichick is the coach of this team, Brady's got at least 3 years in him at this level.
So you're proving my point if you believe that.
So what I'm saying to you is this. If you are Jimmy Garoppolo, to me, to answer the question one way directly, not 2 ways, one way, there is no pressure on Jimmy Garoppolo to play at all, Max. If I'm him, listen, I'm acting like I'm hurt more so than I am. I'm sitting there chilling. The way he's played these first 2 games, particularly in the first half against Miami, he really only played a game and a half because of the Brock Osweiler's of the world and the numbers that you threw out there. There's no pressure on him whatsoever.
Well, unless he wants to stay in New England.
Wait a minute. Well, but why? Why would you? If you want to be a football player and a quarterback, why in God's name would anybody want to stay in New England? Because unlike Max Kellerman, unlike Max Kellerman,
you think he'd have to sit another few years?
He'd have to sit at least another 3 years. Another 3 years.
So Stephen A. here, Molly, banking on the fact that Tom Brady is the exception to the rule that in all of human history, no quarterback's been elite at 41. He'll be the first.
Hold on. I take offense to the word banking on. To me, there is no gamble. I'm sitting back here chilling, waiting for my green smoothie drink. I'll look right at you and tell you, I am literally not concerned at all about Tom Brady for the next 2 years.
How was Derek Jeter in his last season? Was he? How was Kobe Bryant? How was Peyton Manning?
I have a question for you.
I'll answer those questions. Hold on. Molly wants to get into the questions.
Yeah, so say Tom Brady stays healthy, right, for 3 more years, and he's a starting quarterback in the New England Patriots.
Yes.
And you're Jimmy Garoppolo, and you want to be a starting quarterback for another team, and this is essentially an audition for you. Don't you think there's something to be said through playing through injury and showing that he didn't get hurt in his second start, and then he's going to sit and be like, I'm cool.
I can answer that question. Of course, there's something to be said about it. But my point is, because of the suckers that exist in professional sports, meaning and I don't want to sit there.
I know where you're going with this.
Let me be clear. I'm not saying suckers in this particular instance in a derogatory fashion. I understand why Rick Smith and Houston gave Brock Osweiler that money. I understand those things. I don't mean it that way.
They're playing
what I'm saying when I bring in the word sucker, I'm saying minimal work getting you this money. And I'm saying if you're Garoppolo, because of the mystique that is the New England Patriots, because of Bill Belichick and what he brings to the table, because of their history of excellence, if you are a Jimmy Garoppolo, you can literally sit back and chill right now, and somebody will be calling the New England Patriots for the rights to you so they can sit there and have you as their quarterback. Why would you jeopardize that?
You talked to, who was it, Carlton from Massachusetts, who's very brilliant?
Yes.
Okay.
Nobody hates Bill Belichick more.
I have people tweeting a lot at me.
He's gone.
I have people tweeting a lot at me about this age thing that I've been talking about, Brady falling off the cliff.
Yeah.
From Massachusetts and other parts unknown.
Because they know that you're crazy.
And none of them are brilliant.
They know that you're crazy.
In fact, most of them are mentally impaired from what it seems on my timeline. Now
that's not Carlton.
Right, I'm not saying it is. But I want to explain something very clearly to people.
As long as
who are
it's not
saying, this athlete in another sport is Brady's age and he's still playing good. I'm not talking about a baseball player. I'm not talking about a basketball player.
Yeah, the voice was
I'm not talking about a player at another position. I just want to say this loud and clear. No quarterback in NFL history who has been elite has maintained elite production at the age of 41 and beyond. Ever.
Okay.
None. Clear?
All right.
Brady will be 41 before the end of next year.
We got it. You've made that point on a number of occasions. Here's my retort. When you talk about Brady, I'm tired of you bringing up Kobe. I'm tired of you bringing up Derek Jeter. I'm tired of you bringing up guys like that.
Peyton Manning?
Wait a minute. Derek Jeter.
Derek
Jeter. Well, wait a minute. Yeah. Derek Jeter was an everyday player. 162 games a year, all of that other stuff. Kobe Bryant, basketball, running up and down the court, literally carrying the franchise on your shoulders. Peyton Manning, those 4 neck surgeries. Tom Brady has been relatively healthy. More importantly than that, playing in New England systems, particularly with the quick drop-offs, particularly with the 2 tight end set, especially now that you got Martellus Bennett to join Rob Gronkowski. That is a different animal.
Brett Favre
it is not applicable.
Played well late, but not. He fell off before the age of 41.
But what he was subjected to.
I can't wait till Brady's 41.
What he was subjected to, Brady has never been.
Right, and what happens when you age, ask any doctor, is your bones get more brittle. You are more likely to suffer injury doing the same
that. I'm the one that's oldest up here. I can confirm that more so than you, 43-year-old.
I got a high ankle sprain right now.
Yeah, and you were limping big time this weekend, but that's okay. You still survived. The point that I'm trying to make to you is this. Brady hasn't been subjected to what those guys were subjected to.
Yeah.
He will excel 3 years from now, just like he is.
Why can't it be a year from now already? Yeah.
We got to leave it there. You were a little hard yesterday on one Jay Cutler.
So
we're going to continue that conversation because you were mentioning he was the worst QB, right, because of how he was as a leader. There's some new news, and I think you might change your mind, Stephen A. Smith. We'll discuss that next.
We'll see.